Hey, what's up, everybody? It's JD Temple from the Light of the Darkness back here once again. If you're new here, hey, and welcome, and please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that a great deal. Much love to our channel members and our soul family. Love you all so much, and thank you for your continued support, your continued time and attention is greatly appreciated. If it wasn't for any of you, this channel wouldn't be possible. So, thank you all. Thank you all sincerely. This video, it's a car video. A lot of these things, I will pull over and make these videos because I get a lot of inspiration when I'm driving. And, of course, you can get this inspiration by just spending time alone in a quiet environment. And without that, it can be very difficult. I do find that if I do not have time like this to myself, that I am greatly diminishing that open channel that I am able to be in these other modes of other types of brain waves that you generate when you're doing certain things. Meditation, my meditation practice has been screwed for a long time, and I'm definitely reinstituting that into my life. And that's kind of correlates with this overall message of this video. I've been going through a prolonged dark night of the soul. Definitely a great, it's been a tremendous growth process, but with that growth comes a lot of healing, and with that healing comes a lot of pain, typically in the process of that healing. And I'll be the first to say, have I healed all of my childhood trauma and all the other things that I've suffered with, throughout most of my life? No, I haven't. And I'm still in the process of doing that. And depending on who you ask, they would say, well, then how are you able to help anyone else if you haven't even helped yourself fully yet? Well, to answer that question, I would say really it's, through the assisting of other people in their problems and their challenges, that in essence helps me to heal a lot of the trauma that I have, healing through helping other people. I am not perfect in any way, shape, or form, nor have I mastered it all, nor do I know and understand it all. That's a daily process of peeling away layers and of self-discovery and of backpedaling 20 and 30 and 100 steps sometimes. Not just little 2 and 3 steps back, but 50 and 100. It happens. You just have to be willing to get back on track and start trudging back that other direction, even if you have taken 100 steps back. But I've noticed that the more and more I allow myself to drift and backpedal in my spirituality, the more and more I get unplugged from it and ignore it, or do not give it the proper time and attention, the more and more that the matrix reality, if you will, the very fabric of just mundane life, will begin to try to pull you back in using its tools, which is anything that's going to give you a dopamine spike quickly, whether that's television or drugs, alcohol, any types of vices like that. It's going to try to pull you in those types of specific ways, typically. That's kind of the easiest thing for it to do. Also to cause you anxiety and to cause you stress and depression as well. A lot of these things are a process of healing, usually from just dwelling on the past, being scared to get out of your comfort zone, being scared to succeed, to all of that stuff, of course, is like a product of unhealed trauma. And in the process of trying to heal that trauma, you're going to be having symptoms, and those symptoms, of course, are somewhat satiated or diminished by certain things that you can indulge in. And it's those certain things that you can indulge in that way that are going to take you even further away from your intended vibrational frequency, the one that's going to actually serve you and the one that's actually going to help you move the ball forward. So it's easy to get caught in these vicious cycles. It really is, and to get overwhelmed with the totality of life. And then there's also the aspect for many of you people that are going through spiritual awakening process, wherever you might be on that path, on that progress, on that progression. Whether you're somewhat new to it or your spiritual path has been ongoing for 10 or 20 years, whatever the case may be, there's going to be like identity crises that are going to take place. And it's almost going to be like you are living in like a dual reality. It's almost like you're two different people living in two different worlds, because you have had that split in identity. And for like a lot of us, we have to carry that split of identity in order to appease and satiate the world around us that has placed expectations upon us of who and what we are supposed to be. Also, it's the tearing away of that old identity that you have created for yourself to be this specific type of person with this specific career and this specific type of spirituality and this specific set of core beliefs. Like, all of that stuff gets challenged greatly when you step into your spirituality as a whole. Like, especially when you really start leaning into it, and then you start to identify yourself as a spiritual person, as a spiritual channel, as a spiritual vessel, as a highly empathic person, as a healer, as a sorcerer, as a witch. And especially when you begin to help other people, and you see that you have success in it, and you see that you're building a reputation for yourself, then that conflict within yourself becomes even greater, because you have to almost be and function as these two separate individuals, all within the confines of the same reality. And like, that is one of the most difficult things to juggle that I've ever experienced, and there's no easy answer for it, and not in my mind. I mean, people will say, okay, we'll just go into one way or the other, like full-fledged. Well, I don't want to remain the person that I had been. That definitely wasn't serving me, and it wasn't genuine, and it wasn't who I was, right? I want to be and am, actually, and I am this other version and this other part of myself. However, it is constantly in conflict with that other part of me that, of course, it's not all going to entirely die. I will always carry parts of my former self with me, stepping into this new realization of who I actually am, what is actually genuine, what is actually what I resonate with at a deep core vibrational level. And when I am this person, I'm happy. And when I am able to be this person fully, I don't have the stress and I don't have the anxiety. However, there's plenty of reasons why, the limitations, the restrictions, and everything that's imposed on us in this world and in this society won't quite allow me to be that person fully yet. However, it is my decision, though. It is my decision, and ultimately, it is my fault that I am not fully this person yet, because I just had to make the decision to be, and I can be it. But I'm dragging around these pieces of my former self that do prevent me from being it, and I'm fully aware of it. I'm fully aware of this. However, I am just in a vicarious position in my evolution, whereas I am having to straddle the fence between the physical and the spiritual realm, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over it. Sometimes dozens and dozens of times in a 24-hour period. It begins to be exhausting. There can be times when you can even get confused as to who in the hell you actually even are when you are moving into a new skin, so to speak. You can have those moments of like, who in the hell am I anyway? and what is the reason and purpose for any of it? And does any of it even matter? Well, of course it does. It has to matter. Because everything matters a lot. And there's so many things that hinge on other things happening, and those things must happen. Certain things must be filled, obligations, tanks, accounts, you name it, in order to keep the boat floating. And that's not an easy thing when you're having a spiritual awakening. Obligations, responsibilities, all of those things begin to weigh much heavily upon you, depending on what you're going through, especially if you're having a dark night of the soul. You know, Lucifer's been really highlighting so many different areas of my life and so many things. You know, there's reasons for all of it. And there's lessons to be learned in every little piece of it. Not if I harp on just the negative aspects of it and allow them to dominate me, though. Like, I have to actively seek and find the solutions and reach deep down inside of myself in order to do it. It's not easy, and it's not going to be, and it's not supposed to be. Making big changes is never easy. And there's all of us here watching this video, I'm sure, all desperately and actively want to find peace within their situations and be able to move the ball forward in the way they want to have their intentions manifest into this physical realm. Like, everybody wants that, but in order to get that, it usually does require a great change and a total shift in perspective, a shift in the way that you present not only to yourself but to the world, the levels of accountability that you have and keep with yourself and to the world. You know, all of it requires some energy, and it requires some patience, and it requires persistence and consistency. And I'm not saying anything new. You know, we've all heard all of this stuff from a million different people in a million different ways. I mean, it really just, it boils down to staying steadfast. Because you're not going to get there tomorrow. You're not going to get there today. Any of these things take time. Most of these things are a process, and a process is a process. And usually there's some ordeals in there too. And all of that stuff, you've got to let it all play out as it needs to. Again, these things can't be rushed. Some of these things, through different forms of ritual magic, you certainly can alter things a bit to make things a little more digestible, a little easier going, but still be able to ascertain the lesson that it was trying to teach you, or to fast track certain things. You know, all of that's possible, absolutely. But the important lessons are only going to be learned through only that which time will provide. We do live in that realm of time, and sometimes time is just what it is, what it's going to be. So for any of you out there that are dealing with some of these things, if you do understand where I'm coming from and what I'm saying, this is not coming from a place of weakness or self-loathing, or doubt even. You know, it's coming from a place, a genuine place. It's coming from a genuine place because I'm not afraid to be vulnerable with you all. If that means that you all will be able to take away something positive and impactful in your own life from this message, then great. It served its purpose. You know, with my intention of wanting to be able to provide services and wanting to be able to help people in the way that I do, and in the way that I have been for the last 6 or 7 years of my life, it's like, it's vital and important, and it's most creators' protocol to always be expressing an energy of power and of certainty, right? And that, like, that I am unshakable and I am unscathed by life, and that I am absolutely 100% confident in everything. That would probably be the best approach, right? If you're just trying to sell books or trying to sell rituals or whatever. And if you do have that confidence, a level of confidence, and your life truly is like that all the time, then roll with it and be that way. But I just prefer to be, and I'm not saying that people that are like that are not being genuine. They've gotten to a place where we're all striving to be. I'm just letting you all know that I'm still growing myself, as we all are and always will be. And I am going to always be open, honest, and truthful with you, and let you know where I'm at. And when I'm at where I'm at, you know, of course, I'm not always going to tell everyone everything, because silence is important. And I've learned that is a very, very critical element to your magic, and just to in life in general. It really is. It really and truly is. And I definitely, I fucked up there plenty. And I'm sure we all have. But that's something that I am cognizant of now, and that I'm really trying to make sure that I'm more careful of. Trying to make sure that I'm more careful of a lot of things, you know, but, you know, there's still so many things in my life that I need to get in order, that I know will propel me, not just spiritually, but in every way in my life. And these things have to be worked through, and they're going to take time to work through. And I'm coming to terms with that, and I accept that. I guess the thing of the day is just do your best to fully understand who it is that you are, and what it is and who it is that you wish to become. Figure those things out, marry them together, and do the things that you need to do to move that ball forward, and to have that full realization of that thing in your life. So I love you all. If you need anything from me, you know my website, jdtemple.info. Don't forget, too, to sign up for the exclusive group rite on Friday, October the 13th in Washington, D.C. Still available. And also, we are extending to this. This was Martha's idea. A channel message that came to her from Asmodeus for this, that anyone that does sign up for this, we will include their immediate family and loved ones and the spiritual protection aspect of it. That will be a part of it. So you would just need to send their information with your email to me, so that they will be included. I think that's a great idea. It's a very gracious offering, and that is something too, just to add a little bit of extra value to that your immediate loved ones, anyone that you want to include that's in your immediate family there, we will include them for you as a part of that. So really looking forward to that. We've already been giving offerings to Asmodeus and Azazel in preparation for this, and we'll continue to do that up until the 13th, building that power, getting that preparatory immersion engaged, like, fully. That is an important part of it, for sure. Ritual preparation cannot be understated enough. It's something to not overlook. So anyways, I love you all. I'll see you soon. Smell my face, smell it good, and have a great day.